Huh? Nearly 14 years ago, I wrote my first book, The Gift of Time. And I wrote it out of experience, out of a realization that I received nearly 40 years ago in Singapore. I happened to see a book which I should say changed my life. It was a turning point. The name of the book was The Time of Your Life. I realized first time in my life that there is a phrase called time management. Till that time, I had known about finance management, production management, materials management, people management, personal management, resource management, water management. First time I came across the term time management. And I read the book and I saw a video, and ever since, I should say I have transformed myself. And for the past 40 years, I've been sharing this thought that time is precious. I named the book The Gift of Time. See, there are ever so many gifts. Starting from a 5 rupees gift to several $1 billion gift. But nothing will be equivalent. Nothing can replace the gift of time. That's why I named the book The Gift of Time. The very first page I wrote, there are so many gifts still unopened from your birthday. There are so many handcrafted presents that have been sent to you by God. The Almighty does not mind repeating, everything I have is also yours. There are so many gifts, my dear, still unopened from your birthday. If you really take what is time, time is the gap between two events. I come here, then I go. There's a gap. We are born, we are gone. There's a gap. You are given a question paper, you start writing, you hand over the answer paper, there is a gap. This is time. Anything that you value, you'll be careful. Anything which you assign a higher value, you will be even more be careful. Anything which is given to you free, which is available in plenty, you will not be careful. You take mud, for example. You take mud and have a handful of mud. You will not be careful. Even if 1 or 2 grains of the mud drops on the floor, you are not going to be careful. But look at the same mud. Iron ore is taken. Even the iron ore, 1 kilogram of iron ore is not valuable until and unless it is subjected to certain processes and gold is taken. The moment gold is given, on one hand you have the gold, the other hand you have the iron ore, your attitude, your response, your perception of the value will be completely different. I'm sure you would have gone on travel, you would have gone with your parents on a motorbike or a car. When you go to a petrol bunk and the tank is full, the speedometer and the petrol tank will show full. Then you start driving. 100 kilometers, 200 kilometers, you slowly see the petrol gauge showing half tank, quarter tank, like this. Then all of a sudden you find it is touching red. Then nowadays the cars are so sophisticated. There is a message that this car can go with the available fuel for 10 kilometers. All along, you never stopped the vehicle, you never switched off the engine. Even in a traffic signal for half an hour, it was running, consuming petrol. The moment it says only 10 kilometers, and you find a board next petrol bunk, 15 kilometers. So in 15 kilometers you have a petrol bunk, and you have your aged parents, maybe your sisters, brothers. It is mid-core of night. You don't have food, you should take something. And slowly the petrol gauge is showing 9, 8, 7. All of a sudden, you will become very, very careful. If there is a traffic signal, you will switch off the engine because you don't have petrol. The same car, the same driver, the same petrol, the same person, but all of a sudden, your attitude to that resource has changed. I'll give you another common example. All of you use a mobile phone. You have a prepaid card, you have a postpaid card. You load the prepaid card 100 rupees worth. Then you start speaking, and every time you finish a call, you get a message, you have spent this much, balance available this much. When you have loaded 100 rupees, you will be speaking as much as you want because 100 rupees worth of talk time is available. But all of a sudden it says only 1 rupee available or 2 rupees available. And you don't have money to charge. Then you will give only missed call. Because if the other person picks up the phone, 1 rupee gone. Same mobile phone, same prepaid card, same you. All of a sudden you realized, oh, this is very, very, very precious. We can talk about many things. We can say, get up early morning, don't waste your time, don't gossip, focus on your goal. All these things we can say, 100 days we can tell you. But unless and until you realize how precious is your resource, you are not going to be careful. You know one thing? Like a fuel gauge, like a prepaid card, you will not get a feedback how much balance time you have got. You don't decide when you are to be born, you don't decide when you are to be gone. All of a sudden, you realize, oh, so much time is gone. And in a petrol bunk, in a petrol resource, you can go to the petrol bunk and fill up your tank. In a prepaid card, you can go to a booth and recharge. But time cannot be recharged. You cannot recharge at all. Please understand this simple principle. This day, this age, this time, you will not get it back again. But then why are we not careful? Because we don't see it. Supposing in the same petrol gauge, there is no fuel gauge. Or there is a defective fuel gauge, it always shows full. You think it is full. Or in the mobile phone, there is something wrong with the software, corrupted, and it does not show you. Or it is a postpaid card where it is limitless. You will not be careful. So please understand, that time is so precious, so very precious. You become conscious about time. Before writing this book, I have interviewed a lot of people. For example, the owner of V.G. Panidas and Company, Kamal Hassan, P. Chidambaram, lot of people. I asked them one question, tell me, how did you come up in life? And each one of them gave some reply, but the common denominator in all of them is they considered time as precious. That's why Peter Drucker says, if you cannot manage time, you cannot manage anything. There is one peculiar thing about time. There are no signals to you that I'm going. There's no signal to you. You have to be sensitive. Oh, time is passing. And the most peculiar thing about time is, time will occupy the available space. All the available space. This is called Parkinson's law. For example, if you have a uduvati, it will occupy this room. If we expand this room, the smoke will occupy, the fragrance will occupy. Supposing you have a small container, the fragrance is occupied that container. So the available space, like that, time will occupy your available space. Let's say that you set aside half an hour for lunch and you start eating, it will occupy half an hour. Supposing you have a train to catch, a Blue Mountain Express or Charan Express to Coimbatore, you are all going on a picnic. Every minute is important. You are not going to take 30 minutes. You will take 20 minutes. Still you have dinner in 20 minutes time. Supposing you have only 10 minutes. You will quickly have the lunch in 10 minutes. The same lunch, the same you, the same stomach, the same mouth, the same tongue. This is called Parkinson's law. All of you study for the exam. Now you may take about 1 week to study one subject, let's say. A week before the exam, you are not going to take 1 week for that subject because you have got other subjects to study. Maybe you will set aside 1 day. Then 4 days toward the exam, you are not going to study for 1 day. You will spend about 4 hours. Tomorrow there are 2 exams. The same subject you will complete it in less than 1 hour. Because you compress. Because you do a very important principle which I am going to tell you today. Decide the start time and end time. The start time, end time. Before having food, you tell yourself, I am going to start eating my food. Now, I am going to set aside 20 minutes and I am going to complete this in 20 minutes. The balance 10 minutes, I may use it for maybe I will talk to some friends. Maybe I will catch up with some other work. If you don't have the end limit, you have only the start point, then time will occupy all the available space of time. This is the most important thing because time is precious, because the most important feature of time is you cannot buy, there is no such thing as I want more time. As I told you, in a prepaid card, you can buy more talk time. In a petrol, you can refuel the petrol tank again, but there is no 25th hour. There is no 366th day. There is no 8th day. There is no 61st minute. There is no 61st second. Gone. That's all. So, like you are careful. For example, you buy a house, you buy a plot of land. You want to know how big should be the each room. That depends upon how much space have you got. Then you sit with the architect and he will tell you, for this space that you have, this is the maximum kitchen size you can have, this is the maximum bedroom size you can have, this is the maximum toilet you can have, and accordingly he will design. So the message you are going to carry today is, time is precious, time is limited, time is running, time is invisible, time cannot be purchased, so time cannot be squandered away. And then you are going to say, time will occupy all the available space of time. And so what should I do? Start a start time and start a finish time and manage your time within that. This is the first lesson I thought I should give you. I hope you will understand. Only one point I wanted to think throughout today and this week. Be conscious. Time is passing. Be conscious. That's the message I want to give today.
SRMJV is not just a school, it's a one-time experience. The school, it's a one-time experience.
VM Nagar, Tiruvallur.